Chapter 1. The night everything changed, the rooftop glittered with string lights and champagne glasses. My promotion party. 2 years of late nights and endless coding, and I'd finally made senior developer. I should have been the happiest man alive. But my eyes kept finding her. Maya stood across the rooftop, laughing at something our coworker said. The wind caught her dark hair, and she tucked it behind her ear. That small gesture I'd memorized 3 years ago. 3 years of loving her in silence. 3 years of being her best friend while my heart screamed for more. You're staring again. I turned to find Lucas beside me, beer in hand, eyebrow raised. I'm not staring. Ethan, you've been watching her like she's the last sunset on Earth. Just tell her already. I took a long sip of my drink. It's complicated. It's really not. Lucas stepped closer, lowering his voice. She broke up with Derek 6 months ago. She's been spending every weekend at your place. She literally fell asleep on your shoulder last Tuesday. What more do you need? She sees me as a friend. Because you've never given her a reason to see you as anything else. Lucas grabbed my arm. Listen to me. You're running out of time. Someone else is going to come along. And you'll spend the rest of your life wondering what if. My chest tightened. He was right. I knew he was right. Okay. I breathed. Tonight. I'll tell her tonight. Lucas grinned. Finally. Go get her, man. I set down my glass and started walking toward her. My heart pounded so loud I could barely hear the music. 15 feet away. 10 feet. 5. My phone buzzed. I glanced down at the unknown number. The message made my blood run cold. She's not yours. She never was. I looked up. Across the rooftop, Maya was staring at her phone, her face pale as a ghost. Our eyes met for a split second before she looked away. Something was very, very wrong. Chapter 2. The return of the past. Before continuing to the next chapter, please subscribe, like, and comment below. Which part shocked you the most? Let me know. I watched Maya excuse herself and disappear through the rooftop door. Every instinct told me to follow her. So I did. I found her in the stairwell, sitting on the steps, tears streaming down her face. Maya. I sat beside her. What happened? What's wrong? She wiped her eyes quickly, like she didn't want me to see. It's nothing. That wasn't nothing. I saw your face. She was quiet for a long moment. Then the words spilled out. Derek's been texting me. For weeks now. He says he's changed. He went to therapy. He's working on himself. He wants another chance. My stomach dropped. Derek Shaw. The man who made her cry more times than I could count. The man whose love left bruises she thought I didn't notice. You're not seriously considering going back. She didn't answer. Maya. My voice cracked. He hurt you. I held you while you sobbed over the things he said to you. I saw the marks on your arms. People change, Ethan. Not that much. Not that fast. She looked at me with those brown eyes, swimming with confusion. Then what am I supposed to do? Wait around forever for something that might never happen? I didn't understand what she meant. Not then. The next morning, she showed up at my apartment. I made her coffee like I always did. We sat on my couch like we'd done 100 times before. Ethan, she said quietly, I need to ask you something. Anything. She turned to face me fully, her eyes searching mine. What are we? My heart stopped. This was it. The moment I'd imagined 1,000 times. All I had to do was tell her the truth. I love you. I've loved you for 3 years. You're not just my friend. You're everything. But the words wouldn't come. My mother's face flashed in my mind. The morning she left without saying goodbye. The years of silence that followed. Every person I'd ever loved had left. If I told Maya the truth and she rejected me, I'd lose her completely. We're best friends. I heard myself say. We've always been best friends. Something in her eyes shattered. She smiled, but it was hollow. Right? She whispered. Just friends. Chapter 3. The words I couldn't say. 2 weeks later, Maya became a ghost. She canceled our movie nights. Her texts went from paragraphs to one-word answers. When we did see each other, she couldn't meet my eyes. What did you do? Lucas asked one night, watching me refresh my phone for the 100th time. Nothing. Clearly something happened. She went from being here every day to complete radio silence. I told him about the conversation, about her question, about my answer. Lucas stared at me like I'd grown a second head. She asked you what you were, and you said friends? I panicked. She gave you an opening, Ethan. She handed you her heart on a silver platter, and you slammed the door in her face. I was scared, okay? I stood up, pacing. My mom left when I was 16. Just walked out one morning and never came back. No explanation, no goodbye, nothing. Everyone I've ever loved has abandoned me. I can't. My voice broke. I can't lose Maya too. Lucas's expression softened. So your solution is to push her away before she can leave? I had no answer. Your fear is pushing away the one person who actually stayed, he said quietly. She's been here for 3 years, man. She chose you over and over. And you just told her she's nothing but a friend. The next day, my boss called me into his office. Ethan, I'll cut to the chase, Mr. Morrison said. We're expanding to London. I want you to lead the new development team. 6 months minimum, possibly permanent. Significant salary increase. London. Thousands of miles away from everything. From Maya. I need to think about it. Take a week. But this is a career-defining opportunity. That evening, I drove to Maya's apartment. I needed to tell her about London. I needed an excuse to see her, to talk to her, to fix whatever I'd broken. I pulled into her parking lot and froze. A black Mercedes sat in the visitor spot. I recognized that car. I'd seen it too many times before. Derek's car. Chapter 4. Losing her in slow motion, I should have left. I should have driven away and pretended I never saw anything. Instead, I got out of my car and walked toward her building like a man walking to his execution. Her apartment was on the 2nd floor. Through the window, I could see them perfectly. Maya and Derek sitting close on her couch. His hand reached up to touch her cheek. She smiled at him. My phone rang, making me jump. Maya's name lit up the screen. I answered. Hey. I was actually going to come over later, but I watched her through the window, phone pressed to her ear. Tonight's not really good. I have a work thing. I watched her lie to me. I watched her choose him. No problem, I said, my voice hollow. Another time. Thanks for understanding. You're the best. I hung up and walked back to my car. I sat there for 20 minutes, unable to move. The next day, she came to my apartment. She looked nervous, fidgeting with her sleeves. I need to tell you something, she said. I already knew, but I let her say it. Derek and I are trying again. I know what you're thinking, but he's really changed this time. He went to therapy. He's been so sweet and patient. I need to give this closure, you know? I need to see it through so I can move on. Every word was a knife. If that's what makes you happy, I said. She looked at me, waiting for me to fight, waiting for me to say something, anything to make her stay. I said nothing. That night, my phone rang. Ryan Chen, Maya's older brother. You just let this happen? He demanded. It's her choice. Don't give me that. She was waiting for you, Ethan. She's been waiting for years. And you just let her walk back into that monster's arms. What was I supposed to do? Tell her the truth. Tell her you love her. She didn't choose me, Ryan. She chose him. Because you never gave her a reason to choose you. He hung up. I sat alone in the dark, his words echoing in my skull. Chapter 5. The breaking point. A month passed. The longest month of my life. I saw Maya's Instagram posts with Derek, fancy dinners, weekend getaways, captions full of heart emojis. Every photo felt like salt in an open wound. I threw myself into work. I accepted the London position. 63 days until I could escape. Lucas watched me deteriorate with growing concern. When's the last time you slept properly? I'm fine. You've lost 10 pounds. You look like death. I said I'm fine. He didn't believe me. Neither did I. One night, he dragged me to a bar. "You need to get out of that apartment. You're drowning." 3 drinks in, the walls I'd built started crumbling. "I loved her, Lucas." My voice shook. "I've loved her for 3 years, and I never said it. Not once. And now she's with him, and I have to pretend I'm happy for her. And I can't. I can't do this anymore." Lucas put his hand on my shoulder. "Let it out, man." I broke down crying for the first time since my mother left. Right there in that bar, I fell apart. The next morning, I woke to 17 missed calls from Maya. My heart raced as I called back. "Ethan?" Her voice was small, scared. "Can you come over? Please? I need you." I was at her apartment in 15 minutes. She opened the door with red-rimmed eyes. I noticed the bruise on her arm immediately. "What happened?" "I made a mistake," she whispered. "He's not who I thought. The therapy, the changes, it was all an act. He's worse than before. She started crying, and something in me shifted. I'd spent years being her safety net, running to her rescue every time Derek hurt her. And where had it gotten us? Right back here. "Maya," I said slowly, "why did you go back to him?" "What?" "You knew what he was. You knew he hurt you before. Why did you go back?" Because he said he'd changed." "That's not a reason. That's an excuse." She stared at me, shocked. I'd never spoken to her like this. "I can't keep doing this," I said. "I can't keep catching you when you jump off the same cliff over and over. Ethan, please. I'm going to London. I leave in 2 weeks." Her face crumbled. "You're abandoning me? Now? When I need you most?" The word abandoning hit me like a punch. But I didn't back down. "You went back to the man who hurt you because I said one wrong thing. You didn't fight for us, Maya. You ran to what was easy. And I'm done being your backup plan." I left her standing in her doorway, tears streaming down her face. Chapter 6. The Truth That Burns. 3 days later, Maya showed up at my apartment. I almost didn't let her in. "5 minutes," she begged. "Please." I stepped aside. She sat on my couch. Our couch, where we'd spent countless nights watching movies, talking until dawn. Felt like a lifetime ago. "I need to explain," she said. "I need you to understand why I went back to him." "I'm listening." She took a shaky breath. "When I asked you what we were, and you said just friends, I felt like such an idiot. I'd been building up this fantasy in my head that maybe you felt the same way I did. And when you said that, I thought you didn't want me." My heart cracked. "And Derek kept calling, kept texting, kept saying he loved me. I know it's not an excuse, but I was hurt and lonely and I needed to feel wanted. Even if it was by the wrong person." "Maya, I'm not asking you to forgive me. I'm not asking you to stay. I just needed you to know that I didn't choose him because I loved him more than you. I chose him because I was scared. Because loving you felt terrifying. Because if we tried and it didn't work, I'd lose my best friend forever." We sat in heavy silence. "I was scared too," I finally admitted. "I've loved you for 3 years, Maya. Every day. Every single day. But I couldn't say it. Because everyone I've ever loved has left me. And I couldn't survive losing you." Tears rolled down her cheeks. "So we both destroyed this because we were too afraid to try?" "Yeah," I whispered. "I guess we did." She reached for my hand. "It's not too late. We could. I'm still going to London." Her hand froze. "I need to," I continued. "Not to punish you. Not to run away. I need to figure out who I am without you. Without this, whatever this is. I spent 3 years orbiting around you, Maya. I need to find my own center." She nodded slowly, tears still falling. "I understand. I hope you get away from Derek. I hope you find what you're looking for." I walked her to the door. She paused at the threshold. "For what it's worth," she said, "you were never the backup plan. You were always the dream I was too scared to reach for." She left. I closed the door and slid to the floor, finally letting myself cry. Chapter 7. Consequences begin 1 week before my departure. I received a strange message. "Hi, Ethan. This is Sophie Martinez. I work with Maya." Can we meet? It's important. I met her at a coffee shop near my office. She was younger than I expected, with worried eyes. I know this is weird, she said, but I couldn't keep this to myself anymore. And Maya won't listen to me. Keep what to yourself? Sophie pulled out her phone. Derek's been cheating on her. The whole time. She showed me screenshots. Texts between Derek and someone named Vanessa. Hotel receipts. Photos of them together. Vanessa is his assistant, Sophie explained. She bragged about it at a work event, not knowing I was Maya's friend. I confronted her, and she admitted everything. She even seemed proud of it. My fists clenched. Have you shown Maya? I tried. She doesn't want to hear anything bad about him. She's in denial. Then make her see. Show her the evidence. She deserves to know the truth. Sophie nodded. I was hoping you'd say that. The next day, Derek showed up at my office. He leaned against my doorframe, smirking. Heard you're running away to London. Can I help you? Just wanted to say goodbye. No hard feelings, right? May the best man win and all that. He laughed. Though I guess I already did. I stood up slowly. What do you want, Derek? Just to see the look on your face. The pathetic best friend, pining from the sidelines, and she still chose me. Must sting. You don't deserve her. Maybe not, but I have her, and you don't. He pushed off the doorframe. Safe travels, Ethan. Don't worry. I'll take good care of her. He walked away. I stood there, trembling with rage. But I didn't chase him. I didn't throw a punch, because I knew something he didn't. His world was about to collapse. Chapter 8. The unraveling. Sophie showed Maya everything. I wasn't there for the conversation, but Lucas heard about it from Ryan. Maya confronted Derek that same night. According to Ryan, Derek didn't even try to deny it. He told her Vanessa was just for fun, and that Maya was overreacting as usual. When Maya tried to leave, Derek grabbed her wrist. Hard. But this time Ryan was there. He threw Derek out of the apartment, Lucas told me. Literally threw him. Told him if he ever came near Maya again, he'd kill him. How's Maya? Broken. But she's with Ryan now. She's safe. Maya called me 6 times that night. I didn't answer. I was packing my bags when I heard a knock at my door. I opened it expecting Lucas, maybe Ryan. Instead, I found myself face to face with a ghost. My mother stood in the hallway, older and grayer than I remembered, clutching her purse like a shield. Ethan, she said, I heard you're leaving the country. I thought we could talk. I stared at this woman who had walked out on me 10 years ago, who had left without a word and never looked back. What could we possibly have to talk about? I want to explain. I want you to understand why I left. I don't need your explanations. I stopped needing them years ago. Please, Ethan. I'm still your mother. Something cold settled in my chest. You stopped being my mother the day you abandoned me. And I've learned something important recently. I don't owe anything to people who abandoned me. Not my time. Not my forgiveness. Not even an explanation. Ethan. Goodbye, Helen. I closed the door in her face. And for the first time in my life, I chose myself. Chapter 9. The night before goodbye, my last night in the city, arrived faster than I expected. Lucas threw a small gathering at our apartment. Just close friends, people who'd been there through the chaos of the past few months. I was surprised when Ryan showed up. Maya wanted to come, he said. I told her to give you space. But she wanted you to have this. He handed me a sealed envelope. What is it? Don't know. She just said it was important. I tucked it into my pocket. Thanks for being there for her. She's my sister. But you, he paused. You were good for her, Ethan. Better than any of us realized. I'm sorry it didn't work out. Me too. The party was small but warm. Lucas made terrible jokes. People shared embarrassing college stories. For a few hours, I forgot about the heartbreak. After everyone left, I climbed to the rooftop alone. The same rooftop where everything had started to fall apart. I pulled out Maya's letter and opened it. Dear Ethan, I've written this letter 100 times, but the words never come out right. Maybe because there's no right way to say what I need to say. I was scared too. Scared that if we tried and failed, I'd lose you forever. So I chose the safer heartbreak, the one I already knew how to survive. I chose the devil I knew because the angel I wanted felt too good to be true. I loved you. I think I still do. I probably always will. But I understand if I'm too late. I understand if you can't forgive me. I understand if you need to go to London and forget I ever existed. Just know this, you were never my backup plan. You were never just a friend. You were the person I wanted to spend my life with, and I was too terrified to admit it. I hope London gives you everything you deserve. I hope you find someone who's brave enough to love you the way I couldn't. Goodbye, Ethan. Always yours, Maya. I folded the letter carefully and looked up at the stars. Tomorrow I would board a plane and start a new life. Tonight I let myself grieve what could have been. Chapter 10. 1 year later, London was gray and rainy and absolutely perfect. I'd been promoted twice in 12 months. My team had launched 3 successful products. My face had been featured in a tech magazine article about young innovators. But the real transformation wasn't professional. I'd started seeing a therapist named Dr. Wells. She helped me understand patterns I'd been blind to my whole life. You chose unavailable people because it felt familiar, she explained during one session. Your mother left, so you expected everyone to leave. You fell for Maya partly because she was with someone else. She was safe because she was already unavailable. That's depressing. It's human. But now that you recognize it, you can make different choices. And I did. I went on dates with women who were present, available, kind. I made friends who showed up consistently. I learned that my worth wasn't determined by whether one person chose me. I learned to choose myself. One rainy evening, I received a message from Sophie. Have you seen the news? She sent me a link. Derek Shaw, successful real estate agent, had been arrested for assaulting his assistant Vanessa Blake after she tried to end their relationship. The article mentioned that multiple women had come forward with similar stories, including one former girlfriend who had agreed to testify. Maya. I read the article 3 times. Derek's face stared back at me from the mugshot, that arrogant smile finally gone. Karma, it turned out, didn't need my help. A week later, I saw Maya's name in my inbox for the first time in a year. My finger hovered over the email. Part of me wanted to delete it unread. Part of me needed to know what she had to say. I opened it. Dear Ethan, I'm not asking for another chance. I know I don't deserve one. I just wanted to tell you that I testified against Derek. I finally told the truth about everything. The bruises, the manipulation, the fear. It was the hardest thing I've ever done, but also the most important. I've been in therapy for 8 months now. I'm learning to be alone, to be okay with myself, to stop looking for someone else to make me feel complete. I saw your article in that tech magazine. I'm so proud of you. Not because of the success, because of the person you've become. You were always kind and good, but now you seem whole, like you finally believe you're enough. I'm getting there too, slowly, one day at a time. Thank you for showing me what real love looks like, even when you couldn't say the words. Thank you for walking away when I needed to learn that lesson more than I needed to be saved. I hope you're happy, Ethan. You deserve it. With love, Maya. I read her email twice. Then I started to write. Epilogue. The words I finally say, Dear Maya, I'm proud of you too. For a long time, I blamed you for not choosing me. I blamed you for running back to Derek, for lying to me, for breaking my heart. But I've realized something in the past year. I didn't choose me either. I was so afraid of losing you that I never gave you the chance to truly have me. I hid behind best friends because it felt safer than risking rejection. I watched you struggle and never told you the truth because I was protecting myself. We both made mistakes. We both let fear win. But here's what I've learned. Some stories don't need a perfect ending to have meaning. You taught me how to love someone completely. Losing you taught me how to love myself. And that second lesson might be the most important one I've ever learned. I don't know what the future holds. Maybe one day, when we've both healed completely, our paths will cross again. Maybe they won't. But I know this. I'm grateful for you. For every late-night conversation, every movie marathon, every moment of joy and pain we shared. You were never just a friend to me, Maya, but I think we needed to lose each other to find ourselves. Be well. Be brave. Be happy. Always, Ethan. I hit send and closed my laptop. Outside my window, London rain streaked against the glass. A year ago, I would have seen this grayness as a reflection of my sadness. Now it just felt peaceful, cleansing. My phone buzzed. Lucas, checking in like he did every Sunday. How you doing, man? I smiled and typed back. I'm good. Really good. And for the first time in years, it wasn't a lie. I didn't know if Maya and I would ever find our way back to each other. I didn't know if that was even what I wanted anymore. But I knew one thing with absolute certainty. I was enough. I had always been enough. I just needed to lose everything to finally believe it.